Afternoon. Howdy and Namakolo have set this up really beautifully for me because I get to tell you the story of what it's like in the field with the farmers. So if we're going to reach 1 billion people, what does it look like with the farmers? And will they eat biofortified crops? So I'd like to tell the story of Vincent Luanyaga from Uganda. I met Vincent in 2011. We were looking to expand into a different area of Uganda and met with some of the leaders. And he came. He was very enthusiastic about the orange sweet potato. Interestingly, the reason that he was enthusiastic was because he was part of the village health team. He was actually the leader. And he knew that they were teaching mothers about vitamin A and telling them to go to the clinics for supplementation. And yet here was a crop that could be grown in the garden that had vitamin A. And he was very enthusiastic. So we provided him with a bag of vines, very modest amount of vines, and we left. When we came back, we found out that Vincent had been multiplying these vines and handing them out to everyone in his farmers group, everyone in the village health team, and was giving them out to mothers because he wanted to see this in his community. He knew that there would be a difference. We went away again. When we came back, we found out that he had been multiplying even more vines and handing them out, selling them where people would buy them. And we said, okay, here's where we need to help him. Let's make sure that the quality of the vines are very good. So we included him with the vine multipliers that we had been working with. We worked to raise his capacity so that he knew what was a good quality vine, how to get rid of the old ones. And we linked him up with the markets. So now he has become an entrepreneur. Using sweet potatoes as the main thing. He sells vines, but he also sells roots. He has a screen house so that he can get the clean vines from the tissue culture vines. Then he multiplies them out. He sells them to individuals. He sells them to organizations. And he has included his farmers group in his activities. So they also sell vines, they sell roots, they process the roots into products, and they sell these as snacks to school children and to those people that are passing along their way. So this has made a difference in livelihoods for a lot of people. I can't even begin to show you the number of people that Vincent has supplied vines to. It is enormous. But the impact on Vincent's life is this. This is what he lived in when we started working with him. And this is what he has built. And when I visited him this year in June, his son said to me, you know, I'm going to university because my father does orange sweet potatoes. And that really touched me greatly because his motivation was first and foremost about nutrition. And then his livelihood changed, and the livelihoods of the people around him changed. So, it's people like Vincent that help us reach the 1 billion, excuse me. And we know that there, in Uganda, for example, more than 20 vine multipliers we have worked with quite in a concentrated way so that we have high quality seed. But we could take you to Nigeria and show you stem multipliers. We could take you to Rwanda and show you the people that are multiplying up beans as seed. And the same in Zambia with the maize. But now we know that farmers will eat the food that they grow, but if we want to reach 1 billion people, we have to reach the urban populations. So what do we know How do we do this? We need products, and we need to reach them in a different way with those messages. Rajul mentioned about the orange color. The sweet potato goes from white to orange when it has vitamin A. The maize goes from white to orange when it has vitamin A. The cassava goes from white to yellow, but it's a color change. And when I started 10 years ago, we really thought this was a barrier. Is it going to work or is it not? Are Africans going to refuse this food? What we found is that nutritional messaging is so critical. But when mothers know that vitamin A is in that food, they make a choice for their children. And it's aspirational. You want a better future for your children. So you will include this in the diet, whether you are growing it or whether you're buying it in the supermarket. You do want something better for your children. And so that's what we work towards now in trying to reach the urban markets. But for scaling up, we need bigger partnerships. And Howdy has already mentioned many of them. As we go forward, we work with seed companies, or we could, let's say, the private sector. So we have seed companies such as Zam Seed and Kamano Seed, Nirmal. We work with those people that are processing these crops. So in Rwanda, there's Sina Enterprises that works to make cookies using the sweet potato, using the sweet potato puree to make bread in Kenya with Tuskies. We have milling companies that take this on. We work with World Food Program, with the P4P program, where you're linking farmers to markets, and then those biofortified crops are going into their diets. We work with NGOs, local, regional, international. So VEDCO is a local one. Africa 2000 Network, a regional network. Sasakawa is regional. We work with World Vision, Land O'Lakes, Helen Keller International. They are integrating biofortified crops into their programs. And so when we have those partnerships, we think that we can reach 1 billion people. Thank you.